with the Philippines, who was announced for this event, but will not be here today. Le Papendu is a food startup that is developing vegan egg alternative, so products product to replace egg in your everyday cuisine. Last year, we launched our crowdfunding campaign on KissKissBankBank, and now the project is still in development, but the crowdfunding was very successful. So it's a great pleasure to share my experience and my tips about crowdfunding today with you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sharon. And as for Laura, like we don't really know each other directly, but I have the impression that we almost met during our respective studies in Bordeaux. And in this like city in Bordeaux, the name of Zeta makes a lot of noise. And if I may, Laura, you can introduce yourself and your in Zeta.
Yes. Hi, everyone, and thanks for the invitation. So I'm the founder of Zeta. Zeta is a sneakers brand, 100% made of waste and grape waste. So they're recycled, vegan, and recyclable. And the brand is based in Bordeaux, and the shoes are made in Portugal. And so I worked on Zeta during my last year of studies, and I eventually launched the project through a crowdfunding campaign on feuillu, like you, Shailene. And that's it. It worked pretty well. So I will try to give the best tips possible if you are willing to launch your own.
Yes, we can wait. Okay, thank you, girl. Just for the introduction, the first question could be, why did you need to make a crowdfunding? Because for me, it's like fundraising, like everyone wants to do it, but has trouble to like justifying it. Because we have the idea that with more money, we're gonna do like more things. But why did you need, girl, like to make a crowdfunding?
Yeah.
Start if you want, Sharon, or as you want.
Okay. I'm starting. I think more than a fundraising, the crowdfunding campaign is also a way to test and validate your concept, and also a way to communicate and grow up your community. For us also, as our very first community was very supportive, it was also a way to allow them to help us. And in return, we offer us the opportunity to be the first to try our innovation.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes, same as you. It was in the idea of gaining in visibility, but in my case, it was also getting money first, because I was student and I didn't have any. I made a loan, but that was all. So it was also because of money, to gain in visibility and to test the market to see if the first product was liked by people and if there was a real demand.
Okay, nice. And for you, girl, at like what level of a startup maturity, like a crowdfunding makes sense? Because like you just said, Laura, you talk about the fact that you made your crowdfunding during your studies, right?
I think that the first prototype, if in case it's a product, the first prototype needs to be validated, and yeah, it needs to be validated. Otherwise, you can sell a product if you're not sure about it. I think that's the most important to begin with.
As Laure said, I think it's important to have a prototype, because people you have to show your idea by a prototype during your campaign. Also, for a startup, you have to have different stuff to be clear, like your target. You have to have a clear target to define your brand. And also to build your community, because your community will be the base of your campaign. For example, for us, before launching our crowdfunding campaign, we target to have almost 1,000 subscribers on our social media and our newsletter. And we have created a website before the crowdfunding campaign.
Okay, nice. And from your experience, like how long does a crowdfunding campaign takes, and how much time you should be allocated to it?
For us, from the moment we wanted to launch the crowdfunding campaign until the beginning of the crowdfunding campaign, it took almost 4 months. Why 4 months? Because we have to build our community. We have to choose the platform of our crowdfunding campaign. Also, we have to have the first contact with the press and with different partners that will help us during our campaign, because we choose to allow partners to help us during the campaign. And after that, the campaign took 1 month. And why 1 month? It was because when we have to decide about the duration of our campaign, we saw on different websites of KissKissBankBank or feuillu that the great duration was 1 month.
Same as you, it took me like 4 months to prepare the campaign. I mean, like all the graphism, all the video, the communication around it, to build a community as well. So it took me like 4 months, and then I think the whole campaign, it was about 30 or 35 days. Okay. Because if you have to know that the campaign is really tough. It's a really busy month. So it doesn't make any sense to make it longer than 35 days. To me, it's really a maximum. Yeah. Otherwise, you will be exhausted, and that won't really benefit. And we also say that a client that doesn't buy or that doesn't buy your product during the 35 days, why does he will buy it after? So I think that's like an average time.
Okay.
And just to add something about the 4 months before the crowdfunding campaign, also to be clear about your campaign, you have to define the goal of your campaign, the different rewards for your backers. And to avoid to be super tired during your campaign, you have to organize the communication about your campaign. So you have to prepare a calendar for the different posts and your strategy, your communication during the campaign.
Okay. And just before the campaign, how did you get your first small community? Like, was it only your friends, your family? Yeah, how did you manage this?
For me, it was mostly friends and family. So I created like a landing page. That's something you absolutely need to do, even if you don't launch a crowdfunding campaign. You need to have a landing page to get some leads before the launch. And so how did I do before? Was mainly talking about it. Like in August, before the launch, I had maybe 500 followers, so that was not a lot. But that was still okay, and I got maybe same in emails.
As the same of at the same of Laure, it was mostly family, friends, and also some people that heard about our project by press before the campaign.
Okay, nice. And for regarding like your communication or like promotion campaign for your crowdfunding, what if there's something you would have liked to do but you can't? And if you have like missed, I don't know, like actions or stuff regarding your promotion for the crowdfunding campaign?
About the communication on our campaign, we communicated 1 month before the campaign, but we didn't say directly that it will be a crowdfunding campaign because we want to keep the surprise. So we said in 1 month there will be something that happened in Le Pas Pondu. So we created a surprise and suspense. Also, we communicate about it 1 week before, and we created an event like a Q&A about Le Pas Pondu when we announced the crowdfunding campaign. And what we miss about the communication, it was the tools, the different tools to programmate the post, because during the crowdfunding campaign, my goal was to communicate every day in our social media. But I didn't know the different tools that exist to programmate the post. So I post every day, and I was every day on Instagram, Facebook to post and communicate. And after our crowdfunding, I know the tool HotSuite that is a tool that allow you to programmate the post. And I think if I know it during the campaign or before, it would be easier for me to communicate.
Nice.
Same
And,
as you.
sorry, go, no.
That's okay. Same as you, I didn't anticipate it at all. So I was like every day posting my my photos and pictures and things. So I could have anticipated better if I had these tools. And also because there was a lot of messages on Facebook, Instagrams, and on the campaign to answer. So I was a bit over busy. But yeah, I could have been more reactive to all the messages if I had more time, or if I were not alone.
But in your case, Laure, for example, I think you have a magic formula, because like you planned like 100 pre-sales, but you ended up with like more than 2,000 pre-sales. So how could you like explain that? How did you like manage after that kind of explosion? So
that was unexpected at all, really. That was crazy because I didn't have a lot of contact as others entrepreneurs can have. I was student, so I only had my friends and family. So it was a bit crazy. I think what allowed the brand to be known was press and medias, like local medias, but also like more bigger one, radio, TV, yeah, all these little medias online. I think that was a magic formula for me, but also like LinkedIn worked a lot. That's like a powerful tool, really, to make your brand known. Not really like a company page, but using like your personal page, telling stories, storytelling. That was really the key. Like I really discovered it during the campaign, like the power of LinkedIn. So now I'm still using it when I have something to promote. But yeah, that's it. Press, social medias, communication on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, mostly.
okay.
I want to add that I have heard about the campaign of Laure when she launched it. I didn't personally know Laure at this moment, but I have heard about Zeta by press. Even if you launched it in Bordeaux, I'm in Paris and I have heard about it. And I want to add tips about press also. For us, we how to say that? We prepare some article with press, and we wanted to have one article at least for each week of the campaign to maintain the movement in our campaign during all the months.
Nice. Okay. Good tips, I think. And yeah.
I think that's super important, like to prepare your like an Excel with all the medias, like even the big one, but the little one, because if you, for example, the first article I got was in a really small newspaper in the region, and you have to know that all the journalists are always reading what the other write. So after that one, I got another one from France 3, and then it's how to explain in English. One makes the other one appearing. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it becomes when a journalist see one article, then the other come. So you don't have to underestimate any of the newspaper.
Okay.
Also, when you have online article, ask journalists to add the link of your campaign at the end of the article, because people will know your project by the different articles, and after that they have a call to action to drive them to your campaign.
Okay.
Yes. And there is one media you can reach pretty easily when launching a campaign. I will write them down. You have La France Bouge. It's like a a radio show. You pitch like 1 minute during 1 minute your project, and it's pretty easy to get. And the other one is Madines. It's a media online media which gathers all the crowdfunding campaigns. So both are pretty easy to catch, and that makes the difference, like in terms of sales and traffic.
Okay, nice. And girl, what about, could you tell some words about the after campaign, like dealing with the fund company like KissKiss or Ulule? What happened next after your campaign?
For us, the project is still in development. So as we offer the opportunity for our backers to have to try our project, now but at the end of the campaign, so we have to thank our backers for their support. But after that, you have to keep them informed about the progress of the development, and when will they have their rewards. It's important for them, and also it's important because they are your supporters, so you have to keep informed there.
Yeah, that's exactly the same. That's something I didn't do really well because we got a lot of problems with production. We had like some 2 months delay regarding production because of COVID and other topics. But yeah, you have to give news to your backers. You have to prepare production, delivery. If your campaign, if you went up to your expectations, maybe you can check to have a warehouse, a storage, to work with a logistician. That would be easier. And yeah, that's it. And you have to prepare new products. You have to set up a strategy for the year to come. I think the crowdfunding campaign is the most easy part because it's you have nothing to do apart from making communication, and then the real work comes.
Okay, nice. Just before the, I don't know if Adrian, you have some questions, but just before the Q&A part, if we can just like sum up your both campaigns, girl, like if you have like 5 essential tips to have before, during, and after the campaign, if you could like share with the audience, would be nice.
You want to go on?
You
Okay.
want to start, Laura, or
I think the first tips is really video. Like you have to prepare carefully a nice video, because there is like a number figure saying that 80% of the people who will get on your campaign won't read what you put, like the graphism thing, but they will only watch the video. So that's really important, even if you don't have any, maybe you don't have any budget to make a big video, but you can make something for 1,000 euros. If you have some budget to put in communication, that's the most important to me, even more than advertising. And so the video, it has to be catchy, no matter what, no matter if you make it funny or if you make it more serious, you have to make it catchy, like during the 15 first second, and no longer than 1.30 minutes, 2 minutes maximum. And yeah, that's the most important to me. And I will add, of course, press and medias to prepare this, and not sending your press kits on the D-Day. You have to send it before, because the journalist, if he has already like a planning of all the articles prepared, then maybe he won't release something on your brand, on your project, before the end of the campaign. So you have to prepare it before. And communicate every day on your campaign. Like it has to remain in people's minds. They always have to see your project and stories and photos and pictures during 1 month.
And to add some tips, I think the different parts of your campaign have to be clear, like your goal, because people want to know where their money will be, how can they help you. Also your values, because people have to feel concerned about your project, the different rewards. And also one tips that was very important for us was the benchmark, because to prepare our crowdfunding campaign, what we did, it was we look at the different projects on KissKissBankBank and on Ulule that was very successful. It was some project with the same value of us, and also mostly the same kind of product. And we learn we learn a lot about this project, because we learn how they can success, the key of their success. And also we look at some projects that failed, because you can learn why they failed. So you can sum up different points that can be successful or not, and you can pick the different points that you find as successful, to mix it and add it on your campaign.
Nice. Okay.
And also, I don't know if some of them are planning, or some of you are planning to launch a crowdfunding campaign. If you are on your own, if you are alone, make sure to be not to spend this month alone, like, because it will be a lot of work, and it will be really tough, like mentally. So make sure to be with your family or friends, and to ask help if you need it.
Okay, nice. And to conclude, maybe just again before the Q&A part, what are the big don'ts for you, girl? Like, what should we absolutely not do during the crowdfunding part, the campaign?
I think you have to communicate. Like, no one can learn that you are launching a crowdfunding campaign on the D-Day. Not at all. You have to prepare. You have to tease. You have to create like some desire from the customer, from the future customer. But yeah, that's it. And you have to focus on press and medias again.
Nice.
Yes, as Laure said, I think you really have to communicate about your campaign. and also to highlight the value of your project.
Okay, nice. Okay, girls, thank you. I don't know, Adrian, if you have questions, but now it's audience time. So guys, feel free to ask all the questions you need for Sherlyn and Laure. And if you can just turn on your cameras, could be better to see all of you.
Yes, Lamia.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for organizing this webinar. Thank you for sharing with us your experience. I have a very basic question regarding how did you estimate your target at the beginning? Could you tell us the do's and don'ts? What were the steps? Did you benefit of any help from the platforms, etc.? Thank you.
In my case, it was something we planned with the I lost my word. With the company, with the Portuguese manufacturer making the shoes. Like he told me, okay, our minimum of production is 100 pairs. So you need to reach 100 pairs to launch the production. So that was pretty easy to set. But yeah, you receive some help from Ulule, and I think it's the same on KissKissBankBank. Like someone is always with you along the month. So no worries about it.
Okay, Lamia, thank you for your question. If I understood, it's about the target of your crowdfunding. That's it. For us, it was it was an amount, and it was the goal of our crowdfunding is to help us to develop the product. So it was an amount that we need to advance on our product, like the cost of the quality control test, the cost of nutritional test, and the cost of raw materials and our packaging.
Okay, so you both played the safe side, taking the minimum of total cost. You identify the minimum quantity to start a real production. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, at the beginning, we defined a goal that was help us in the R&D process, and in this goal, you separate, or you define the different parts and evaluate the cost of these different parts, these different steps.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lamia. I think, Sarah, you have a question to ask. Maybe if you can turn on your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, really good.
Okay, I was having difficulties with the microphone. So I wanted to add to the question of Lamia, like, how did you explain the number to the crowd? Did you even explain it to the crowd? And did you explain how are you gonna use these funds? Because as an end user, someone is donating to the project. Do they have the right to know why is the money being collected and how will it be spent after being collected?
I think the question was for Laure. Maybe, Sarah, you can just ask your question one by one, maybe, because I have too much. But
in my case, it was pretty obvious to know how it will be used because people were buying products, and they were not like you, Sherilyn, putting money in. It was not like gathering money, but gathering orders. So it's a bit different. But yeah, I explained really clearly why did I needed 100 pairs, and where was my what was this money for? Like I needed molds, I needed some tools for the prototype, that kind of thing. So I explained everything.
okay, nice. Thank you, Laure. Thank you, Sarah. Alexander, you have a question. Maybe you can switch on your mic.
I had a quick question, which was maybe you said it, but I have missed it. What percentage of people who gave were actually people that you knew or were from a part of your network, and what percentage of those were people who you reached out through broad communication? Yep, that's my question. And do you know that, or is it something that you don't exactly estimate it?
Yes, there's something we didn't talk about, but when you launch a crowdfunding campaign, we always talk about circle 1, circle 2, and circle 3. Circle 1 is like your family and people and close people close. Circle 2, there are people which are linked to your circle 1, like friend of your friend. And circle 3 are the people you don't know, you never heard about. And so the goal is to reach the circle 3, of course. It can take more time depending on your campaign. So to answer your question, the goal is to reach the circle 1, so your family and friends, the most quickly possible. In my case, I read your question again. What did you read?
Question was the percentage. How much was it 80% circle 1 and circle 2? Was it 10% circle 1 and circle 2? Is it something that you did not really estimate?
Of the goal.
Yep.
In my case, it was 500% on day 1. So, and it was mainly constituted by friends and family.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
And just to add something about the percentage, so for me, it was, I launched my crowdfunding with KissKissBankBank. And at the beginning, when you define your target, you have to define a target that can be reached. Like for us, it was 8,000 euros, but our goal was in real to reach about 20,000 euros to help us in our R&D process. So after that, when you reach 100% of your campaign, it secure this amount, and after that, you have to communicate on the fact that you want more to reach your goals. I don't think it was clear. Okay, it's fair.
Crystal clear. Don't worry. I think we have another question from Melissa. Maybe you can ask your question if you want.
Yes, no, I was going to say congratulations on both your success. I know how challenging it is to run a crowdfunding campaign. I guess my question is, you're talking about your press release earlier on. Do you suggest hiring, especially like someone like myself, who is only familiar with the North American market, like an agency, and how much would you even allocate towards that? Because you know, if you don't know how to get in front of like a journalist and getting the right publication, I think that's really important. I guess that's my first question. And the second really was to follow about how you think one of you mentioned LinkedIn. I'd be interested to know a bit more about how you use that to advertise.
Thank you, Melissa, for your question. For us, we didn't hire people because as we need money, and as we need money, we don't have money. So our budget during the campaign was almost zero. And so for to create good content for our video and our communication, we use some tools for communication, mostly for your post. For example, there is a Canva. Before I talked about HotSuite to program your post. For the video, we ask for some people in our family to help us. So we didn't hire or didn't pay for ads or communication.
Same as me, I didn't hire any press agency, so I just made everything on my own. You have like a real, if you want to make it on your own, you have a real big work on searching all the emails and of journalists and gathering everything in Excel. But that's okay. Like if you have time, you need to do it. That's super important. And you don't need to, you were talking about publication to journalists. You only have to have one press communique, and then you send it to the journalist. I think one is enough, and maybe like a media kit with photos and everything. And yeah, if you don't have money, as we didn't, just make it on your own, and that will be enough. And regarding LinkedIn, I didn't make any advertising. I was more talking about using LinkedIn through your personal account to talk about your project, to like to storytelling your project, and I think that will gather traffic organically.
Just one more small question. When you mentioned the press release, how did you know like who to reach out to, and did you know the I guess the journalists ahead of time? Is that
you mean which journalist to focus on?
Yeah,
everyone. Like everyone. Like just you need to have 500 contacts in you don't mind, like send to everyone. Really.
No, thank you for sharing that, because that's good to know. It's not just reaching out to one, but
and you have like you have something interesting I just discovered. I didn't know about it. It's called hunter.io, I think, like this. And then you go on that website, you put
Yes.
like an article you discovered, and then this tool will give you directly the email of the journalist.
Oh yes, so that's like yeah, there's another one like amplifies like that. So thank you, that's good to know.
Maybe that can be helpful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think Caroline or Leo, you have questions? Caroline? Leo, shoot us.
Caroline, if you want to go on.
Go, Leo. I will go there.
Okay. So my question is, Laure, before you said it was mentally tough to do the crowdfunding campaign, as you succeed in a way quite quickly, I was wondering why it was like mentally tough, and like any suggestion to manage this problem.
I think because you never prepared to this, like I was not expecting this at all. Like the first week, my phone was always phoning journalists by so that's crazy. Like the first week, that's really nice, and you like it a lot, and you have the impression to be a star, but not at all. But then you become to be like really really exhausted because you have to be everywhere at the same time. Like they were asking me to go in Paris, then in Bordeaux. Like you have to be always present to keep your contributors, your backers always aware, and you have to make everything at the same time. And at the same time, you have to prepare production because you have to order and to calculate all the materials for production. So you have to be everywhere at the same time, and that's pretty tough. Especially when you prepared your project on your own, like during 1 year, and no one was aware about it. Like for me, that was really like this. Like on the day, the project became public, and I was not prepared at all. But that's okay. You learn to be. But that's very nice, and don't be
Okay, yeah.
Don't be scared, but you need to know that's a really busy month.
Okay, great. Thank you for your answer, and congrats.
Thank you.
So I have two questions. The first one, I would like to know why you choose KissKissBank or Ulule. Is there one that is more dedicated to product, or I don't know? So can you explain your choice? I will ask the other questions then.
About the platform of the crowdfunding, there are different platforms. For us, we choose KissKissBank because you have to know that KissKissBank and Ulule are almost the same. They have the same business model and the same kind of coaching. I think Ulule has a bigger community than KissKissBank. But for us, we choose KissKissBank because when we have our first contact with the different platform, we had a very good feeling with the person in KissKissBank that we discuss with. And this person became our coach during the crowdfunding campaign. So it was only on our feeling. And to add something about the platform of the crowdfunding, there are other platforms. So KissKissBank and Ulule are mostly on France, but also in Europe. Internationally, there is a Kickstarter. For a sustainable project, there is Mimosa. And for crowdfunding without rewards, but with royalties, there is We Do Good. So to choose your platform, you have to be sure that the platform will fit with your goal and your community.
Yeah, it was same for me. And I will add maybe that Ulule has recently they mainly focus on projects with environmental or social impact. That's my feeling. But I think KissKiss has the same. And yeah, in both cases, you are accompanied by someone, by your coach, and they are super nice. So one or the other are good.
Okay, thank you. And my other question is regarding the timing. So both of you have to develop the product, and when you make your crowdfunding, do you say to directly that it will take like 5 months, 6 months, 10 months, and this time can it be like 1 year to propose something, or it should be like shorter for the crowdfunder that will participate? What about this time of delivering?
Thank you for your question. About the time, I think the more important is to be clear, to be transparent about the time. For example, for us, we launched the campaign last year. It was on May. Nowadays, project is still in development. So we were transparent with our backers, and we write it on the first page of our crowdfunding campaign that our project will be available next year.
Okay, so you must have said next year, but it could be at the beginning or at the end. It's not so big a problem, but you have to say that it will be longer than
I think
usually expected.
I think if you communicate about the moment that your project will be available, it's okay, because people know the time you want to develop your project, and as they know it, they have the choice to contribute or not of your campaign.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have other questions? If not, I think we're good. Maybe, girl, you want to add something? Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I think we're good. Maybe last chance for the last questions. No.
Yeah. By the way, your feedbacks are really important for us.
Yes.
So there is the link for the feedback. And yeah, if you can fill it, it would be amazing.
Yeah. That just before you leave, guys. That just take a minute. So thank you, guys.
Can I put a question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know if you will be able to answer me, but I thought I'd put it out because I know you had a product to crowd fund for, but do you think, or have you went through someone who crowdfunded in return for a class or certain knowledge or certain skill? What I'm trying to say is that because we're B2B and we offer our services not to consumers,